Welcome back to DOSM Web TV programs. On the last day of this international program event, we are here with Mr. Gabriel Gamez. He is the Interregional Advisor from United Nations Statistic Divisions. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
How are you today?
I'm good. It was, of course, a very heavy day with a heavy program, but I
Oh.
mean, we're doing rather well. Yes, and thank you very much for hosting and organizing this event. Very important.
Thank you, and we are very glad to hear that. How was your journey? Your experience here in Malaysia so far?
Wow, it was a good experience, right? I mean, I arrived already on Friday. So I arrived well in advance because I had another event. So it gave me time to visit the country. Of course, not too far, but the capital city, Kuala Lumpur. I've done a couple of excursions in the city with a couple of guided tours, and it was very interesting. I went also to visit the tea fields. It's very exciting to see that, and also to the Genting Highlands. I think that's the name.
Genting Highland.
Yes, exactly, and it's very nice. It's very fresh and like a summer day in Europe. So it was a very nice escape. So it's beautiful, right? And I'm excited to come back and see more of the country, of course.
Okay, I really hope you enjoy your stay
Yes.
here in Malaysia. All right. So as the inter-regional advisor from UNSD, strengthening the partnership between Malaysia and the United Nations Statistic Division can contribute significantly to enhancing the quality, coverage, and accessibility of statistical data within Malaysia and aligning it with global standard. So could you please share with us in what ways it can be strengthened?
Yes, thank you very much. I think first, let's speak about the challenges that we are all facing when we are producing statistics. The first one was with the SDG indicators, right? The SDG indicator framework that was endorsed by the General Assembly in 2017 with a lot of additional indicators that we have never produced in the past. So we have been struggling, globally, in all countries in trying to produce the information that we need to monitor the Sustainable Development Goals. This was a challenge in 2017, and we noticed that maybe we are not that flexible or too flexible when we are producing statistics globally, right? I will speak about Malaysia later on. But the second important challenge was actually the COVID pandemic. We have noticed during the COVID pandemic that on one side, on one hand, our users were also requesting more information, timely, fast information about the situation in the country, also how to address the pandemic, not only from a health issue perspective, but also economic perspective. And at the same time, we had issues, we statisticians had issues in collecting our data from the traditional perspective, so censuses and surveys. And we have realized that we have to modernize and transform our national statistical systems. We have to make them more resilient, so basically to be able to support this kind of challenges, but also more flexible, so in the way to be quick in adapting to emerging user needs. And then we, of course, came to the conclusion all together that the way of addressing this was of two sorts. The first one is an institutional one, so we have to be closer to our users to understand quickly what are their needs. And I will come back to the statistical council that you have in the country at national and also local level. That's a plan. But also to try to collect data differently than we have done in the past. And we know that there are in every country, including this one, a lot of data sources existing that have been collected for administrative purposes, commercial purposes, regulatory purposes, or managerial purposes by private companies, but also the administration. And they are there and they're available. And our role would be to think together how we can actually reuse this information that has been already collected earlier in order to produce the statistics that we are requested to deliver. In that perspective, I think that Malaysia has a very good experience, and I think your experience can be something that could show the path also to other countries in the region, but also globally. The first one is that you have taken the initiative now a while ago to use or reuse existing information, data sources that have been collected by others. This in many countries is not the case. You're already using information from geospatial information, telephone information, and so on, that can be used for the production of statistics. This is something that maybe for you here in Malaysia seems to be very natural, but in many other countries, this is something that is still, forward-looking. So this is something where probably you can show the path how to other countries globally, to the global statistical community, how we can move away, not maybe fully, but how we can make a step away from the traditional data collection system, censuses, surveys, that are often very slow, heavy, costly, and we know that our respondents don't like so much to answer so many different surveys, will allow us to be faster in collecting, processing, and disseminating the information. In that respect, you have a lot of advance. Now, the second point is also how we are structured as a national statistical system and the different bodies that are there that we can consult and guide us in the information that we have to produce, how to structure this information, and how to make us relevant also in difficult or less difficult situations. And for that, I had a long discussion with your chief statistician, and I mentioned this good initiative that you had with the Statistical Council that most of the countries have, but your council is not only a statistical council, it's a data and statistical council, meaning that the Statistical Council is not, or Data and Statistical Council, is not looking only at statistics as final product, but also how to better make use of existing data, how to shape this data and transform these data sources that exist in the countries in the way that we statisticians can reuse them quickly in order to produce the information that we need. These two aspects are fundamental, and we all really count on you, on Malaysia, to help us actually as a good practice, as a best practice, how to share this journey that you had in the modernization and transformation of your national statistical system with other countries. And UNSD is very thankful if you can help us in doing that.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your giving your explanation to us, and we hope that we take your advice and applied it in Malaysia
I
as
count
well.
on you. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining
Thank you.
us.